can't complain, man. You know what I mean? Another cool day in the six, but aside from that, I'm living, I'm breathing, my family's healthy. I can't complain about nothing, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And so I just for the people who aren't familiar with you, I mean, you've got a long history in this game. You've been doing it for a long time. You're very multifaceted. That's one thing I
Yeah.
really respect about you is I like seeing people who are go-getters who don't just dabble in one thing. Not only are you a producer, a DJ, media personality, you dabble in fashion, you're an author. You got so many different hats that you wear.
Yeah.
And I mean, we'll dabble in and touch on all of these things throughout the interview here. But I was just kind of curious, like when you were first starting out, kind of like first kind of what got you into hip hop? What made you think this is something that you want to do? And what was it actually like? What was your first kind of niche in hip hop that you started as? Like what did you initially start like? Because I'm sure like a lot of us when we start off, we don't jump in like I'm gonna do all this stuff, right? Like kind of what was your main focus when you first started?
When I first started music, like when I first got introduced to it, it was early. My uncle was a DJ, so he used to give me all the singles. The singles always had the instrumentals on it. So I used to every week, what I'm saying, he getting 8 to 10 boxes full of CDs because he ran a record pool. So nephew here. So that was my first real introduction to music. And then from there, I just started writing, starts rapping to the instrumentals at the end of the tracks. Like, I'm finna play this on the CD player, get the tape recorder and record this like this. That was my first studio, you know what I'm saying? So, it all happened from there. And then my first niche was like 13, 14 when I wrote my first book as a child. It was a book full of my rhymes. So that was like my first real introduction to like music for real. But it wasn't really as a music, it was as an author. It was just, because at that time it was poets dropping their poem books like left and right. So the publishing company was like, yo, you're a young kid. You just came off a movie with Sam Cooke on Channel 11 and all this other stuff. So let's see if we can leverage it. Let's see if we can sell some books. So we did that. You know what I'm saying? It was like little small pocket-sized books. But that was like my real introduction because I got to tour with like Grammy nominated poets and stuff like that. So that was like my first real introduction. And they always bring live music into their set. So that was like my first real like being around it and seeing it night in and night out.
Wow, that's crazy. So you just touched on another thing that I wasn't even aware of. But so you actually dabbled in acting when you were younger as well, too.
Yeah, my grandfather was a famous photographer and videographer. He worked for Channel 11 here. Channel 11 run WTTW, run Arthur, and all that stuff. So he shot a lot of their movies and docuseries. So anytime they needed a young black male, my grandfather was coming to get me. So I was always here. I was always there, just playing different roles.
That's crazy, man. That's real cool. And the fact that you actually got into it, it's kind of a full circle thing, eh? Like that you kind of came into it through doing a book, and then later on in your career, after dabbling and doing so many different things and wearing so many different hats, you actually went back to the publication again too. So that's pretty cool.
Yep.
That's crazy, man. That's real cool. So you.
I can't hear you. You're breaking up.
Producer when you spent time with them, or did they have you signed as an artist or like an actual rapper, or like what stage of your career were you in when you were over there?
At Universal?
Yeah.
At Universal, I was still an artist. I was rapping under the name Offishall time because that was right after I left Souljah Boy, so they still own the copyrights to Young Official. So I had switched my name and started rapping under Offishall time, and landed a deal with Universal. That's when I had dropped 2 singles with them. Well, it was one single with them, and then I dropped a single with Island Def Jam. So the single I dropped with them was with Future, and then a joint I dropped with Island Def Jam was with the Yo Gotti. And then after that, I just went the independent route, and I dropped the T-Rail and Snoop Dogg record. And then I went on to drop this song produced by DJ Mustard called Turn. And then after that, I was just music climate changing. I really like producing more. I'm finna go and polish back up that skill. I'm finna polish up a lot of things that I started early because I know in this game you gotta be able to reinvent yourself to have longevity.
Yeah, 100%. And you know what? And that's one thing I can respect too, because I think a lot of times people get so gung-ho on doing something specific that they may be passionate about that they're not able to actually look at the bigger picture and be like, you know what, let me fall back from this and let me go put my efforts and my time into this because I think this could be more fruitful or more beneficial for me. So I think that that's a really big thing. And I think that's that's kind of a note that people could take away from this too, is that, you know, sometimes you get into this doing one thing,
Yep.
and by the time you're said and done, you'll be a master at something completely different, and you'll be successful at something completely different in this.
But I tell people that's how you make, like, when you can do it that way, that's how you can last because you wear so many different hats. Like, pandemic is slow, okay, bam. And it teach you how to be a role player and it teach you how to be a coach because sometimes you're not even playing, you facilitating the players. And then there's gonna be some times where you actually in the game. So it just teaches you how to play every role in every position. So when you meet certain peoples, you can feel roles and needs like this because you've been doing it already. You know how to play positions. You ain't gotta have an ego to get this money.
Yep. That's a fact, man. And I actually found it interesting too, like a little piece that you put in there, because I do know that you and Souljah Boy had a relationship and stuff. But you spent time, like, were you were signed under him at one point?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't even realize that. So that was back when you were young official, though.
Yeah, that was right. That was when I was young official. Me and my homie Stunner Quiet. We had a group called SODMG Goons. We were signed to Souljah Boy. We released a single called Goons. It got over like 2-3 million views on YouTube right now. You can still look it up. SODMG Goons presents Goons featuring Souljah Boy. It might say Souljah Boy featuring SODMG Goons. I don't know, but it's still up there.
Yeah.
So around that time, that's what we was doing. But at that time, I didn't understand the difference between a record label, an entertainment label, because I was still young, and then he was still young, so he didn't really know how to be a boss. I'm coming with my own money. I'm coming bringing my whole effort. I'm coming bringing 1,000 people that rock with me, that's rocking with this brand just off the strength of us and what we doing. So, you know, with that, it comes ego and it comes a lot. So you just, you know, we got to a point where we was just like, yeah, bro, I'm going to go and do my thing, bro. If you want to stay, you can stay. I'm going to go do me because I got other things that I want to do. I ain't trying to be in front of this camera my whole life. I want to tell y'all what to do.
And it's cool too that you guys were able to actually like amicably split like that and be able to maintain a relationship, because I think a lot of times too, people get in their feelings in this industry, and you know, it's like once you disagree with somebody, which or you even just decide like, you know what, it's gonna happen, and a lot of people don't know how to put their pride or their ego at the door and just be like, okay, disagreement, move on and keep building. You know what I mean? A lot of people almost feel like it has to be a one or the other thing. Like, oh, you don't rock with me no more? Like, you know what I mean? It's like, nah, like.
Yeah, if you don't rock with me, then I can't support you at all.
Yeah, and it's like, you know, artists, I mean, I guess it's an artist thing, right? Because a lot of us artists, we are sensitive to certain degrees, but, you know, I think it's an ego thing too. And I think a lot of times people just got to learn to leave their pride and ego at the door if they want to be successful in this industry, because that shit ain't going to get you nowhere. And just because you don't, you know, maybe two people got to go a different direction doesn't mean you can't come back and get this money some point in the future, right?
I just believe that people got to learn how to separate business from personal. Like I tell people all the time. Renee will tell you this all the time. I'll be like, yo, it ain't nothing personal.
Yeah.
I don't like that mix. Personally, I don't like it, but business-wise, I understand it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just you gotta know how to play your role, and you gotta understand the personnel. You gotta understand who you're working with. So like I tell people, you got to learn to be versatile. You can't have no feelings in this game, because feelings will get you exited out this game quick. Quicker than you got in that door. You'll be out of there quicker than you came in.
That's a fact, man. That's a fact. And so once you got back into the producing, like, because I guess we kind of skipped over that a little bit. Because you mentioned that kind of you decided to kind of leave the emceeing behind and dust off the producing. So when did you actually first start producing, and what was the original equipment that you first started using when you like early on when you first got
early on when I first started producing? I was using FL Studio. I had a little MIDI cord with a keyboard. You know, I had all the basic essentials. I never used the MP. Like I didn't use the MP until I got older and got to hanging around older guys like Tony Bangs and people like that was heavy in that lane. But I started off on FL Studio, and I still love it to this day. Like I won't mix my records in it, but I'll make a beat in it and drop it in Pro Tools and get that beefed up sound. You know what I'm saying? But I love FL. Like that's what I always learn with. So I just feel like master what you know.
Yeah, I feel you there, man. I'm an Ableton baby, so I've been using it for 10 years strong, and it's one of those things I can't I'll get different little pieces of equipment and stuff and just fuck around and play on it or whatever. But at the end of the day, it's like I'd rather learn how to just keep doing what I already know how to do good, even better with what I already know how to utilize, right?
Exactly, and then we can upgrade from there once I master that, because I knew it ain't nothing to upgrade. It's just it's a newer look. That's all.
Yeah, and with some new features and maybe make things a little more time efficient, shit like that. But yeah, exactly. Interesting. And so you do still use FL Studio to this day then too as well?
Yep.
Dope, man. And actually, speaking about the beats too, you did just put out a new beat album as well. Two-Face it was called, correct?
Yes, sir.
And so, just tell us a little bit about the concept of that, because I've seen you guys work, and you guys have been pumping out stuff. You guys I know there's mixtapes on. I mean, I'm privy to a couple things that are behind the scenes, so I know there's some stuff on the way, but I do know you guys you're working on albums, all this other stuff. What was the concept of the idea to do just a beat album?
I mean, Two-Face was just something that I always loved Scarface. And I said that I wanted to remake something like that. And then one day it just came to me. I made the cover, and I had messaged Renee. I'm like, yo, I got it. I want to do a beat tape. How fast can we get this done? Because I'm like, when I think of something, I want to get it out. So I'm like, yo, how fast can we get this done? And I had sent them the beats, and he was like, well, I'm finna run the whole movie and report the whole thing, and then I'll start chopping it up. So I'm like, all right, cool. He did his first little draft. Hold on 1 second. Let me get my kids together. They just walked in on me. Come on, give me your cup, son. Give me 1 second, bro. Come on.
Yep.
Over here. Kenny, chill out. I know what to do. I'll see you later. All right. Oh. Yeah, I just got photo bombed by the kids. They normally do that every interview.
You know what? It actually the timing worked out perfect, because I was going to go out to the car to do the interview, and wifey actually took daughter out to go play at the park with the neighbors. So I was like, perfect timing. I can do this inside and be nice and comfortable.
They get me every time because they think I'm on the phone. They think I'm on FaceTime, so they're trying to see who I'm talking to.
You gotta love the innocence of the kids, man.
Man, oh man, I love it. It's pure.
Yeah.
It's pure at its finest. It reminds me to do things that my kids do. Ask questions. As adults, we forget it. We get to that thing that everything is a dumb question. No, I'm like a kid. I'm gonna ask a million questions.
Yeah.
That don't sound right. You said what? No, because that's how you gotta be, especially in this music industry, because they'll play you.
Oh yeah, they'll play you, and if you don't ask questions in the industry, you'll ask people questions, and they might even blow off your question for to not want to ask. You might have to not let you really know what's going on. You might have to ask 2 or 3 times before you start to get some answers.
Yep.
And that's one big thing I always say to people too is don't, especially in this industry, don't assume things. Always ask, because a lot of times I see a lot of I see a lot of relationships get soured between people when one person may not just be as privy to something as the other, and people start making assumptions. And it's like, you know, I've seen people get accused of robbing people, and it's like, dog, I don't even think you generated this individual money. You know what I mean? Like, you should be asking questions and learning numbers and figuring out what's really going on before you start burning bridges with people. Because some people, you know, especially some of these underground artists, they'll hop up on a high horse thinking like, you know, they're owed something. And it's like, you know, actually people have been doing you favors for the last few years, you know?
They don't understand it. They feel like they got to a certain level, then they did it by themselves. That's why I always remember to do the things that I've always done. That's why I always show love to everybody. Like, I don't care who you is, because that's what I've always done. That's always been genuinely me. Anytime somebody see me, they know me. They're like, yeah, they'll never forget, because I'm going to show you that genuine love, like, period. So that's one thing I always pride myself on, like, just be you and be that all the time. No days off. Even when you don't feel like it, you got to suck it up and do it.
You got to do it. That's the other thing, man, work ethic. And that's one thing I've seen heavy in you. I know we haven't really been in each other's network for a super long time, but I've been hearing from our double about you for quite a bit. And, you know, and that's one thing I see and I recognize and I respect. And the same with our double too, right? It's the work ethic, like no days off. There's always something that can be done. Even if you feel like shit, you don't necessarily maybe, you know, you're not feeling creative. You don't have to go do a mix today or maybe make a beat, but there's shit that you could be doing. There's networking to do. There's paperwork to do. There's emails to be done. There's always things that need to be done.
There's new radio shows. There's new blog shows coming up every day. I need to tap in with everything. I tell our double get mad at me because I be like, nah, I don't want you to do my mix until your lady friend come over. Because the next day after your lady friend come over, my mixes be the best. Two-Face is the best mix he done. And I told him, I say, yup. I knew what it was. Like, I told him, I'm like, yo, you snapped on that, bro. Like, when he sent it back to me, the first time, I listened to it. Because I had just went to sleep. I had sent it to him at like 12. He had sent it back to me like 4 a.m.
Yeah.
And he had messaged me like, it's in your email. So I wake up about 7. I listen to it and I doze off to it because it's like 30 minutes. I doze off about like 22 minutes. So I wake back up and I listen to it. I said, he did what I asked him to do, but he didn't do it the way I wanted him to do. So I went back and I just chopped every piece that I wanted because I'm like, you did a great job. But this is what I meant. And then once he seen what I meant, he took it and just elevated it even more. He like, oh, I'm like, see, that's why 2 brains is always better than 1. That's why I tell him, bro, we work so good together because you don't have the mind state where you can't listen, and I don't have that mind state either. So as long as you're able to listen, we always gonna be able to work. He'd be like, bro, I hope you don't get so big on me where you don't call me. I say, listen, the only time I will act like that is if you ever get so big where you do not listen. Because when we stop listening to each other, there's nothing else we can do.
Exactly. And you know, and exactly what you said, it goes kind of to what we were talking about earlier, but it's the ego and pride thing, man. Some people think that some people are just so stuck on their vision or thinking that their way is the right way that they're not able and willing to compromise, and they're not willing or able to listen to criticism. And those people are just doomed to fail and stay dormant because, you know, it's like, what's the definition of insanity, right? Repeating the same thing, expecting different results. And a lot of these artists out here, a lot of people in this music industry completely do that. They just, you know, and that's one thing I respect about Renee too, is because, you know, throughout our time working together, he'll hit me up and he'll be like, hey man, look, I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but I think it'd be dope if maybe you started doing this, or if you started doing this like this. And pretty much every time he give me that advice, I follow up on it and I'm like, yo, that was great advice. And I figure out a way to make it work, implement it, you know?
Yeah, you gotta be open. Like, that's what I tell people. Like, the best artists have the most people around them because they pull in ideas from everyone.
Yep. On it, stop.
So if you want to have the best team or you want to have the best network, you got to pull from everyone. It can't just be no one person.
It's facts, man. It's like, you know, the same reason, like, you look at Kanye West's albums, right? Like, Kanye West is a great producer by himself. The guy can write himself. But there's a reason why every song has 10, 15 producers on it and like 10, 15 writers on it. You know what I mean? Because he's pulling and using the best ideas from everybody in who's literally there.
To make the best total package. That's why I tell people a long time ago. I said, I agree that quantity over quality wins sometime. Like in the Gucci Man effect, it worked because he gave you so much quantity, it forced you to listen. But I still believe quality over quantity, because if you give them that quality work, a quality product, they'll remember that for the rest of their life. And they'll hold on to that because it'll create experience.
Exactly. And in time, it becomes something almost of nostalgia, right? It's like, oh, I remember where I was when I first heard this album. I remember what was going on in my life. I remember the girl I was sleeping with. I remember the homies I was kicking it. I remember the clubs I was going to at that time, you know, and it creates like, and that's one of those things that the rest of your life, you're going to come back and listen to that. And that's what creates classics opposed to things that are cool for the minute. You know what I mean?
I feel like that's how I feel about rap as art. Like, I feel like they're going to appreciate it more over time.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people, like, when you listen to the project, you got to listen to it twice to actually see the vision.
Yeah.
Because every song, the way it's lined up and everything, it paints a different picture. But it gives you every element of hip hop, period, from every time stamp.
Yeah. Yeah. And I got oh, sorry, continue.
That's what I wanted to create, because it was like, in my definition of rap is art, I want to body up everything, but in my style. So I'm like, yo, I want to get a piece of this. I want to get a piece of that. And then I was inspired by certain things, so I just bottled it all up. Like, yo, this is it. Like, I feel like it is art. People gonna appreciate it more with time once they when they really take the time to really check it out and understand it. Like, it's a dope project. I love it.
And speaking of the project too, so it drops January 14th. By the time this actually airs, it's either going to be a day or two. It's either going to be a day or two before it drops, or it will have just came out. So, I mean, we can technically, sorry, continue. What are we doing?
Hold on. I'm still doing my interview. I'll tell you in a few minutes. My wife ain't feeling well, so she can't come in the office. She got to scream from three rooms over because I'm not coming in there. I can't get sick. I got to go out of town this weekend. I got too much going on.
I hope she feels better soon. But yeah, so all I'm saying is, so you guys got the album Rap Is Art. It drops January 14th. By the time this actually airs on the radio show, it will have it'll either be dropping in a day or two, or it will have already just came out. So I mean, we can actually talk about the project a bit. I got a sneak preview of it. I don't know what exactly you want me to divulge on or not, so I'm gonna try to keep it pretty hush.
I want you to tell me what's your favorite tracks on the project.
It's hard to pick a favorite early in the process, right? Because I only got a chance to listen through it once. And so I typically find I'm the type of person that I would tell you a couple of joints that are my favorite now. And then after 3 or 4 listens, those are going to turn out to be lower on the list. And there's going to be a few. I'm one of those people that through discovery, I usually find my favorites, right? Like usually after 2 or 3 times, that's my favorite songs basically I've ever really, in my life are songs that I didn't really like the first time. And the second time, I'm like, oh, and the third time it's like, oh, and then the fourth time it's like, this is phenomenal. And then you keep, you know what I mean? So, but I mean, as of right now, let me pull up the track list quick here. I got it right here. I will let you know like offhand as of now, but this will change. So this is like first listen. This is first listen. I mean, Gangsters Make the World Go Round is hard. I love the hook you guys got on that. And I mean, and you can't go wrong with Buck either, which we'll talk about that song in itself. But I like Savage too, though. But mind you, this is first listen, so I'll give you an updated.
Okay.
Once I get give it a few more listens.
Okay.
But I did want to actually ask you about that record too, though, the Gangsters Make the World Go Round record. So how did you go about actually putting that together? Because I mean that's a big record right there.
Young Buck did the verse on the beat, but I didn't have a hook for it.
Yeah.
And I was working with my R&B, with an R&B artist out of North Carolina that signed with a partner of mine out of Atlanta. And we was working up some projects, and I was like, yo, I need you on this hook, bro. Like, I'm going to write it. I just need you to deliver it. Like, I got it. I just need you to nail it, and I think you can do it. And I wrote it up for him the first time he drafted it. It was dope, but it wasn't quite what I needed. So I'm like, all right, we're going to keep it. I kept it. And I like, a week before I was supposed to turn the project in, I called him. I'm like, look, you know the song now. You know it. Go in there and sing it like you performing. And I hung up on him. And he texted me back. He like, I was thinking that I'm going to the studio tonight. He sent it back to me. I'm like, that's it. That's it. So then I'm in the studio mixing it. My wife come in because she knows sometimes on the R&B I get tone deaf. She know the notes. So she come in, she like, that's off. Fix that. So she just telling me the pieces, so I'm just getting it perfect. I send it back to him. He like, ooh, bro. I say, I told you we had one. When I knew with your voice and the hook that I had, I knew it was going to work perfectly, bro. I'm happy that you trusted in me to just deliver what I wanted you to do. And that was like, from that point on, we've been working so much crazy because that made him believe in my process. Like, because early on our project, I let him write everything. So now he believes in my pen game now. Like, oh, yeah, bro. Now he called me like, yeah, bro, so what you think about this now? I'm like, yeah, because now I showed you that I can do that.
Yeah, and I think, well, so first I was gonna say, I think that's cool that you wrote that hook. Actually, that's interesting. I had no idea. But and once again, it just goes to what we were saying earlier, right? Like it's for one, knowing what you want, being able to tell people maybe do this again, and for people to be receiving of it, right? So I think that's important. Like, and that's just one of those fine examples, right? Like he was able to put the pride aside, be like, you know what, you're right. I'm gonna go re-kill this, and boom,
And then another thing with me, when I heard it, the original Gangsters Make the World Go Round was one of my favorite joints. And I was just like, yo, when I get my chance, I'm going to remake it crazy. And when I was listening to it, I was just listening to the beat and I was just listening to the verse. And I was just sitting there and I was like, yo. And then Buck we was on the FaceTime and he like, yeah, nigga, Gangsters Make the World Go Round. I'm like, there it go. I hung up instantly. I say, bro, I got it. I text him, I'm like, no disrespect, bro. I just got the hook. Call you later.
Yeah.
Jotted it down. Then I just started playing the beat. And then I just had to get that second half. I got that second half and we was gone. I sent it over to him, bro. Did what he did. And the first draft was crazy. One thing, like, I got the final mix is a mix of both. Because certain artists he hit that first time was so good, I had to keep them.
Yeah.
So, and that's the thing that I love about being able to mix and master my own work. And that's one thing I appreciate my mom for telling me. Like, she always told me, like, yo, whatever you want to do, be the best at it. Nigga, you want to be a rapper? Go to school and learn everything that a rapper supposed to do. Learn about the music business. So I went to Columbia and picked up music business and audio engineering. So now I can mix and master my own music and not get charged an arm and a leg.
Yeah.
So that's one thing I always tell her. Anytime I do something, I'll be like, Mom, thank you, because you instilled that in me. Like, if whatever I'm going to do, be the best at it, be the best that you can be. You ain't got to be no better than nobody else, as long as you be the best you that you can be. Yeah. Because you're the only person that got to live with that.
That's facts, man. And it's important to be able to be self-sufficient, right? Like in this industry, it's like you had just said, like that saves you an arm and a leg in mixing and mastering. And mixing and mastering, a lot of people may not realize, especially like in the era of home recordings and people just throwing preset filters on shit. They can put out something that sounds okay to the common ear. But anybody who had the slightest bit of like, who's familiar with listening to music knows it sounds like shit, so like it costs a lot of money to get your records done by the people who know how to do it right. So to be able to do that yourself is a huge importance. And a lot of people
it cost me a huge amount of money, but it was well worth it.
yeah It's a one-time investment though, right? You pay that once and now you never got to pay nobody again.
Yeah, but that's how I treat the music business though. I set up everything for the long run. Like, nothing that you want is going to come fast unless it's not going to stay long. You got to build that groundwork up. You got to have that trail. Yeah. And that's what I feel like. Like, when I came back as a producer, that's why I say, yo, forget all that old stuff that I ever did. I gotta lay that trail now as a producer. So I'm trying to get everybody on something. I don't care who you is. Let's work. Yo, Rick High, let's work. Benny, let's work. Khan, let's work. Bro, here go a whole beat pack, bro. I got 10 for you right here. Enjoy. Like, because on days when I cook up, I'm cooking up 20, 30 beats because I know it's going to be days when I'm outside and I can't get to it and I need an extra 5 beats because I'm finna go here tonight, or I need some beats because I'm finna run over here. So I'm just a workaholic, man. Outwork the workers.
Yeah, right. But it's important. It's important. And actually, one thing, with you bringing up Rick Hyde and your connection with some of those guys too, I love the Easy O'Hare and Rick Hyde joint. The name of it's escaping me at the moment.
Big Checks.
Yeah, Big Checks. I love that. How did what's kind of your relationship with them? Because I'm aware you've worked with Hyde quite a few times, if I'm not mistaken, right? You got a few joints together in the back.
Me and Rick got a good relationship. Me and Conway got a good relationship. I'm cool with drum work. I'm cool with BSF. You know what I'm saying? So I work with both. A lot of the artists, you know what I'm saying, I work with. So I just work, bro. I don't get mixed up in picking. I'm just working, like so. So me and Rick, we got about 3-4 joints, and then I got some stuff that we working on with some Black Soprano stuff too. So I'm just working. I'm just working. I ain't ready to drop them projects, man. Just let them know we working. Like I tell people, my goal is to be, I am the new Big Ghost. Period. I love Big Ghost to death, but I feel like, one thing Big Ghost don't do, he don't get on them records and he don't talk his shit.
Yeah.
You got the accolades, but you're not letting them people know. I'm gonna let the people know every time I every time I can. I'm gonna let them know. So at all 22, every project I drop, I'm talking on the intro. Every project I executive produce, I'm talking on the intro. Period. You can't take that from me. I gave you 7 exclusives. All I'm telling you is give me 30 seconds on the intro.
Yep. You should talk your shit. And you know what? And I think the other thing is too, though, you have sorry, hold on 1 second.
It's all good.
She's mad she can't go in there.
Now my kid's interrupting me. What was I gonna say though? You were just talking about talking your shit and stuff. And I was gonna say, and that's one thing, like, because not only are you a producer, but you were an MC at one point, so you have that personality to you as well. But you also, you do media, you do all these other mediums. So I think that's a perfect storm, especially for somebody like yourself. Yeah, because you not only have these outlets to also be able to cross promote and make everything kind of work. Like that's how our shit works, right? Breaking Records Radio, Breaking Records, the label, like everything kind of works in unison with each other, even though they're their own things, right? And I think that I see a lot of that in what you're doing as well too. But with that being said, you got the skills to pay the bills. You got the personality. You should be on there talking your shit. You know what I mean?
That's how I feel.
You gotta give them a little bit of that.
I feel like I've done enough to earn that respect from artists to be able to do that. Because any artists that know me, that I've been around, be like, boy, you can talk that shit. I'd be like, I know I can. And I can do it like this. All I gotta do is hit a track. It's gonna turn on. Yeah. I'm ready. I know I can. But it was just me getting to that point where I was comfortable with coming out of that shell again. You know what I'm saying? Because I was always comfortable as being that as an artist. But when you're going through artist things and you're going through trials and tribulations as an artist, some things you put in that bag and you don't want to bring back out of that bag because it brings out other personalities that you don't really, you know what I'm saying? So with me, it was just about learning, making it a learning experience. Now I'm ready. I'm like, I know what I can do. I know how to do it and still play it safe, but I don't go back to my old ways.
Yeah. I feel that, man. And speaking of, like, having multiple personalities, that you got and having your feet dabbled in so many different areas, you do the radio show, Fab 94.5, right?
Yeah, I'm on Fab 945.
And on top of that as well, too, once again, the show will officially have launched by the time we start this.
Up top, ready, up top.
Sorry about that. Why do you just need a work computer? All right, and it's okay. Just close it, please. I won't be much longer, but if you can close it. Perfect. Okay, sorry about that. I just didn't want to get back on my train of thought and then get interrupted again.
I got you.
Shit. So, oh yeah. So I at this point, sorry, let me just refresh it. Where was I going exactly? Okay, so you do the radio thing, and then by the time that this airs, it will have already debuted. But as of right now, it actually debuts tomorrow. You and our double are starting the Up Top podcast as well too.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Tough.
Because Up Top, you know what I'm saying? Like I always loved Canada, so I was just like, yo, I get a lot of plays in Canada, but I never had nobody that I can really facilitate and show love to like that. So when me and our double linked up. And I'm just like, yo, I want you to do my mixes. I'm like, you ain't gonna talk that shit, but I talk that shit. I get it. Cool. We like day and night. Cool. Let's do it. Because I'm gonna direct and paint the picture of where I want to go with it. I can get the interviews. I got the connections. I just need you to cover the end that I'm not good at.
Yeah.
So with the Up Top, it was just like, yo, cool. I got the connections, bro. Let's put the mixes together. I can always remix a record. Like, that's easy for me. Our double got a folder on his computer of 90 beats that I did in 2000 from 3 years ago that he dropping remixes like crazy. When I'd be like, bro, I don't know how you fit that, but you a dog. I would have never did that. But that's because, and I told him, I did that because I trust in you, bro. I believe in your craft because you hear something that I don't hear. Just like on Gangsters Make the World Go Round, that round here. That was our double. I didn't hear that.
Oh, word.
I didn't hear that. My thing was the pitch down. He didn't like the pitch down. But when I put them both together and it set perfectly, I'm like, bro, that's his genius. That's what he heard. Yeah. But I respect it because the DJs are like the first A&Rs. And like I tell them, bro, I feed off your energy just like you feed off mine. So when I send you something, I respect your opinion. I'm sending it to you because I respect your opinion. Because sometimes you hear stuff that I don't hear because I'm only a producer. I just started dibbling into DJing. You got way more years of experience than that.
Oh, yeah.
So sometimes you're going to hear things that I don't hear. And that was one of them things. And with the Up Top, when we did the first mix, I'm like, bro, yeah, this is crazy. I'm like, I already got Spotify in the bag. They been asking me for a show. Like, let's give them something. He like, why? I'm just like, look, bro, let's just do it. We're going to drop it every week, bro. Every week. I got enough content. We know enough people, bro. I got drops for days. Who you want? He asked me for the most outrageous stuff. And I'll be like, if I can't do it, I always be honest. Like, nope, that ain't one I can get. That ain't no contact I have, brother. I ain't going to lie to you there. But I do got this one. We can try to make that one work. But I just be honest. I feel like, and that's what takes people a long way. If you honest with people, they're going to respect that a long way. Like, this industry is full of so much fake shit. When they run across something real, it's hard to let it go because real unrecognized real.
Yep. And actually to the point you said too, you come across so much fake shit. Like anybody who's been in this game for some time, no matter what country you're in, where you're at, if you've been in here for some time, you've come across so much bullshit that even when a good thing with somebody who is real about the shit comes across their plate, it's one of two things. You either are able to identify it immediately, or the other thing is you almost don't believe it's real because you've met so many people.
That's how it was when me and R Double first started talking because he had hit me like, yo, when we started working on Underground God, he like, I want to get what's the name on this beat. I ain't gonna mention no names because I don't want to. But he like, yo, I want to put what's the name on this beat. I'm like, cool. He like, he want this. I'm like, all right, cool. I don't really care for the lyrics, but I'm like, I trust your judgment because you know that market. That's not my. But I trust you. But that was our first time ever exchanging some funds of a large amount. So that's what, like, I tell people, like, that's what gain trust. Like, I tell people all the time, like, bro, half of the people I work with, the first time I meet them, bro, we exchanging some money. The second and third time is different. But always, my first way of coming through the door, let's make something happen. Let's get some money together. And then from there, we can figure out how we can get some more.
Yeah.
But it's about making that connection. Everybody I ever worked with, or anybody I ever did business with, they'll tell you. Anybody who ever said they got to be for me, they paid for it. Best believe. Or it was something that I was like, you know what? We're going to get it on the back end. I'm going to make sure I get mine.
Yeah.
we know how to get it from all different angles. We know all 16 ways of mechanical royalties. I'm not missing out on none. You might be only getting 2, but I'm going to get all 16 of mine. You know what I'm saying? But it's just about knowing, it's just being aware. That's the whole game, just being aware and knowing how to move.
Yeah.
All my connections is being aware.
And the game's designed for you to not be aware.
I didn't land in the room with Benny the Butcher just being off of, well, I'm in the dressing room. He come back in our room. Like, yo, this AC in here, bro. It's cool. I'm like, oh, here you go, my brother. I know what you want to do. Take that. Oh, conversation piece right there. Oh, man, where you get this from? Oh, as soon as I open my mouth, oh, you not from here. Where you from, Chicago? Yeah. But it's just like, you just got to know how to move. You got to know how to network. Yep. That's what I tell people. Your network is your network. If you can't network, you're not going to win.
Yep.
I tell people just like this, man. Think about the biggest. DJ Clue was the biggest DJ in the world. What was his network? He had the net worth of people, but he didn't have a network to work them between each other.
Yeah.
So when Khaled and other niggas came and Flex and all them other niggas came and took over because they knew how to keep it amongst the circle and elevate it.
Yeah. And it's genius what they did as well too, right? And it's almost, to a degree, it's kind of almost like what Clue should have done. And I don't want to sit here and talk about who should have, would have, could have, but what he should have done is take that Chris Lighty format, what he was doing with the Violator things, and you know, you got the access to these people. They're coming through. They want on your tape. What better thing to do than, but you got to drop a little thing on this. There's what, the Fantastic Four joints. Is it called? You know, he did the odd joint, but he never, you know, I agree with you 100%. Like that, you know, and then the next guys came and they took that shit by storm. They're like, yo,
elevated it.
This is how we're going to do it. Elevated. Exactly.
Bomb came and took over for 10 years strong. Had the game on the headlock.
Right?
You couldn't enter the hip hop scene without going to see drama, especially on some trap.
Yeah.
And then when he heated up Don Cannon and he took over the hip hop lane, it was over with.
Yep.
But yeah, bro, like I just feel like it's a lot, man. Like with everything I do, it's so much that I can do and I offer to people. I just try to get people my best foot forward, man. And everything I do, like if I'm gonna do a project, it's gonna be my best project. If I'm gonna do the radio, it's gonna be my best radio show. Like when we do Up Top, it ain't gonna be nothing but the best episodes that we can deliver. And that's one thing I just want to keep giving people is quality.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Quality. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Period.
And it go back to actually what you said too. It's like, you know, quantity can work. Quality always typically works. But if you can have quantity, then you got your foot on the neck of a lot of people out here. That's
a win-win. That's what that is.
Yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact, man. And you know, and it's crazy. And our Double's one of those dudes, man. Salute to him. Man, he's gonna watch his interview and be like, hey, you guys just bigged me up for 45 minutes. Salute to you know. But one thing that's, you know, I mean,
he made it, like I always tell him, I say, bro, you always working, you always making something happen. Like no matter, I'm like, I respect the hustle. Like a lot of people don't have your hustle. You don't worry about trying to be the best. Don't worry about what everybody else doing because your hustle gonna outbeat a lot of people. You gonna get that because you gonna out hustle these niggas. You gonna outwork them. And I'm the same way. So I want like-minded people around me. I know he gonna try to outwork me because he know. Look, he don't go to sleep 9 to 7 in the morning because he know I'm finna send him something. Like yo, I need some drops on this. We working on a new project right now. You know what I'm saying? The Godfather. That'll probably be dropping soon when this drop. You know what I'm saying? The Godfather too. Like
dope. He actually he leaked me a little sample of that earlier today. I'm not sure if he was supposed to or not, so I didn't mention it. So you just brought it up. But
I know he would. I knew he would. You know how I knew he would? Because when he did the mix, he like, bro, I listened to this 50 times already, and I didn't do this intentionally. And I'm just like, bro, I'm gonna listen to it. I listen to it, I say, you motherfucker. You. I said, I'll call you tomorrow because I know you got your lady friend. Call you tomorrow, bro. Call you tomorrow. But I know tomorrow you're going to touch this up and it's going to be even better. But yeah, he snapped. When I heard, I'm like, yo. But that now he knows what I want because we done been through the trial and error of the first one. So now I can just be like, here. And now he knows. I don't have to really go back and be like, no, do this and do that because now he got it now.
Yeah. 100%, man. And
my phone blowing up. I forgot. I got studio today too. See, but I appreciate you, bro.
No doubt. I appreciate you coming through and us, taking the time with us.
And hours, man. Anytime you
exactly.
Look, I think when on the 14th or something, we should just do a live takeover.
Yeah.
Let's link it up. I'll link it up and we just do a live takeover. And we just do a live and let people talk. And we play some of the project and we can continue the interview. And then we can patch it in and we can make it a whole gathering.
I'd be game actually. That's the 14th. Let me just double check with wifey and shit, see what the schedule's like. But I'd be down to do something like that actually. That'd be cool. That'd be cool. That'd be real cool. I'd be down for that for sure. And like, in the show here, man, I appreciate you coming through. And it's always a revolving door, man. So, I know you got, let's plug it one more time, but the Rap is Art. If it's not, if it hasn't already dropped, it drops on the 14th.
Rap
and
is
if
Art.
this comes out
right there behind me, y'all go get that. It's out right now.
Yep.
Out right now. Go buy that. Rap is Art, the dopest project of 2022, man. Y'all go tap in with that 2 Official Rap is Art. Got some of the biggest artists in the game, some of the best features in the game, man. Y'all just tap in. Man, I appreciate you, Maloney. We got something coming to on that Underground Gods, man. I ain't gonna let that first out the bag yet, but know we got something coming.
Yo, that shit's hard. I heard the first draft of that the other day, and I was like, "Woo, shit! Okay, this is where we're going with it."
Underground Gods is heating up nice, man. That project is gonna be something special. Like that's gonna be on the lookout for that. Like and feature, you got a joint on there. Probably gonna have like 2 on there. We're gonna work out something else. Yeah,
100%, man. Anything you need, I got you, G, for sure. And and I was gonna say, before we wrap up too, is it's a revolving door here. So anytime there's new projects coming out and stuff, you're always welcome back on. Glad to have you, my man.
Appreciate it. Everybody right now, go to www.2official.com. T, the number 2, WOOFFISHALL.com. Everything right there. You'll be able to go get the album right there. You'll be able to get that merch right there. You'll be able to get that vinyl right there. You'll be able to check out the podcast right there. Everything 2 Official right there and everything we're affiliated with. Appreciate you, Maloney, man. Much love to, breaking records. We always breaking records. That's what we do, man. We always doing big things. I appreciate you, man, for letting me come through your platform. And you know what? It ain't official unless it's 2 Official, man. So we made it official.
Hey.